Hey preppers, Homestead Prepper here, part 2 of canning, and I'll show you all how easy it is. And got my little funnel here. Of course, now you can always put that stuff in there like that. Of course, it makes it a lot less messy with this, but no problem. What I like to do, we need to clean the rims. That's one thing we need to do. But what I was going to say was, is that when I first started doing this, I had this uncontrollable urge to pack as much food in these jars as I could. You know, I couldn't get enough in there, but that's not good. So we don't want to do that. You want to leave about an inch of headspace in there or so. And then what we want to do is clean the rim of the jar so it makes a nice good seal. And I like to use a wet paper towel, and then I like to follow up with a dry one, you know, or rag, whatever you have. And there's some people on YouTube, what they're doing is they're doing cold canning, cold packing. Now that's what this is. This jar is cold and this chili in here is cold, okay? Now you can heat the chili up, boil it, you can heat the jars up, you know, and you can heat everything up and then you can cook it again for another 90 minutes. But I can only see doing that one time. So this is the way I do it, cold. It makes it simple, fast, and like I said, if you the experience I've had is if you put this thing on here cold and you put that on there and you pressure can it, this thing will leak and not seal, and when you get done, this thing will be popped up and it won't be popped down like it's supposed to be. So I'm going to show you how I do it. And what we have here is we have this thing I've been boiling, this lid, and a little magnetic tool. Put that on there like that, and then put we'll go on there, the lid on there. And you just want it nice and snug, okay? And now, oh, I forgot to tell y'all that I put a teaspoon of salt in this too as my preservative. Now, for those of you who are salt conscious and salt sensitive, my wife says what you can do is you can after it gets done, you get ready to eat it, you can put it in a pot and you can heat it up and you can put some potatoes in there, and the potatoes will actually pull the salt out of there. So anyway, just a tip. Okay, so I've got, this one is ready to go, and look over here. I've got my pressure canner ready, and I've already got some jars in it. Now you'll see four jars in there, and I've got this one right here. Now I have a 7-quart pressure canner which I already have going. Alright, that one's already going, which I'll show that to you in just a minute. But what I wanted to tell you is before you get started doing this, is you need to put a little bit of vinegar in here, or what will happen is that that metal on the lids will react if you have an aluminum pressure cooker. I guess if you have a stainless one, you don't have to worry about it. But put a little bit of vinegar in there. And also there's a mark in here, which mine is right about here. You don't want the water level to go above that mark. Okay? When I started on the other one over there, I put about that much water in there. When I put the 7 jars in, because that's all it holds, it was up to here, so I had to dump some of it out and get it back down to that. You don't want too much water in there. Okay, and I'm limited to 7-quart capacity on my canner. Now, I do have 2, could do 2, you know, at the same time, but I only have 5 jars here. Okay, so I'll probably put something else in it. Now, a friend of mine, he's from Michigan, and he said that when he was growing up, his parents had a huge garden, and his mom had a 30 or a 50-gallon pressure canner. It was probably a water bath thing. It's probably what she had. What she would do is fill up the bottom with all their jars of vegetables, and then she would start stacking these things. These are the things you put on the bottom to keep them from busting on the pressure canner, but she would put one there and then put one on the top like that, and then she would just keep on going. Now you want to talk about doing a lot of capacity. Anyway, that's what they used to do. But like I said, I'm limited. So what I've done over here is there's already 7 jars in that, and what will happen is this little thing right here will start tapping, and then when it pops up, it starts making pressure. And it takes a little while for all this stuff to heat up, because like I said, there's cold water in there. Don't heat the water and put the cold jars in it, or don't put hot jars in cold water. That's not a good combination. But what you want this thing to do is get up there right around 10 psi. Now I'm a little above, and this is something you have to watch and play with. Now I've turned this thing up and turned it down. You just don't want it to get below 10 psi. Now I've got a friend of mine who lives up in Denver. He probably wants his at that altitude. You want to be 15 or above. Anyway, get a blue ball canning book, and it will tell you the simplest and best way to do stuff. Highly recommended. And like I said, you'll have to fiddle with this temperature gauge. I think I've got it on like 3. I started off with it on high, and I moved it down to 3, and then I keep bouncing up and down. You'll find the happy medium, but like I said, it's something you've definitely got to watch. And what I do is come over here and put the timer on, which I put it on for 1 hour and 40 minutes, and we're 1 hour and 3 minutes into it right now. When that goes off, you do not, I repeat, do not want to remove this or try and open this until this thing says 0 and that little thing has gone down. And even at that, it's going to be super hot. Steam will pour out of it. And what I would do in the beginning is I would get so impatient, I'd take that thing off of there, and then the jars would like froth, and you could still see them boiling, and it was just not a good thing. So I highly recommend that you don't do that. So after 1 hour and 3 minutes, I will turn the heat off on that thing right there, place it over here, let it cool off, and when it cools off, then I will pull the jars out, and like I said, it should be preserved from somewhere between 1 and 5 years if I did it right. So easy, even the Homestead Prepper can do it. Homestead Prepper out.